With Brianne Dippish and Joni Grave. The big idea: Donald Trump's escalating feud with Bob Corker, the Republican chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, captures in miniature why he's been ineffective during his first 9 months as president. It's unclear what exactly triggered the thin-skinned commander-in-chief to post 3 tweets attacking the Tennessee senator on Sunday morning. The most plausible explanation is that he was reacting to a segment on Fox News Sunday. The show aired a soundbite of Corker telling reporters last week that Rex Tillerson is one of 3 people in the administration who separate our country from chaos. That came in response to an NBC report that the Secretary of State had called the president a moron. Senator Bob Corker begged me to endorse him for re-election in Tennessee. I said no, and he dropped out. Said he could not win without my endorsement, Trump tweeted. He also wanted to be Secretary of State. I said no thanks. He is also largely responsible for the horrendous Iran deal. Hence, I would fully expect Corker to be a negative voice and stand in the way of our great agenda. Didn't have the guts to run. Corker, who has felt liberated since announcing his retirement last month, gleefully fired back. His office quickly went on the record to insist that Trump had, in fact, promised to endorse him, urged him not to retire, and just last week asked him to reconsider his decision. The 65-year-old then tweeted this fully uncorked. Corker then called a New York Times reporter to say that Trump's reckless threats toward other countries could set the nation on the path to World War III. He concerns me. He would have to concern anyone who cares about our nation, the chairman said during a 25-minute interview with Jonathan Martin. I know for a fact that every single day at the White House, it's a situation of trying to contain him. Trump's myopic impulse to counterpunch whenever he feels attacked caused him to lose another news cycle, and will overshadow an immigration proposal that the White House planned to talk about today. It also underscored several of the factors that have caused the president so much trouble. 1. Trump is unserious about passing legislation. Make no mistake, going after Corker will make it harder for Trump to get his way on both tax cuts and the Iran deal. The senator was quoted on the front page of Sunday's Washington Post expressing concern about his party's hypocrisy on the national debt. He says he will vote against any tax bill if he doesn't think it will reduce the deficit. If he sincerely cared about getting big bills done, he wouldn't go to war with Corker. Especially when his party has a working majority of just 2 seats in the Senate. 9 months in, with unified control of the government, Republicans have failed to pass a single significant piece of legislation into law. Trump has repeatedly gone all in for healthcare bills that subsequently failed. He's threatened to shut down the government to get funding for his border wall, only to blink twice. He's set deadlines and drawn red lines, only to see them ignored or blown past. 2. Trump has alienated several Senate Republicans that he needs more than they need him. Since taking office, Trump has criticized Mitch McConnell, John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Jeff Flake, Lisa Murkowski, Dean Heller, Rand Paul and others by name. That doesn't include several others he went after as a candidate, including Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and Ben Sasse. Corker said that his concerns about Trump's ability to govern are shared by nearly every Republican in the Senate. Look, except for a few people, the vast majority of our caucus understands what we're dealing with here, he told The Times. Of course they understand the volatility that we're dealing with and the tremendous amount of work that it takes by people around him to keep him in the middle of the road. Going after Corker is like when Trump described the health bill that passed the House as mean. It makes it less likely that other lawmakers will go out on a limb for him. The president has triangulated against congressional Republicans for political purposes, i.e. having a scapegoat to justify his inability to deliver on his campaign promises at the expense of substantive policy achievements. 3. Trump cares more about showmanship than statesmanship. In between his attacks on Corker, Trump praised Vice President Pence for walking out of an Indianapolis Colts game to protest players kneeling during the national anthem. The episode was a pre-planned publicity stunt designed to fan the flames of outrage among Trump's base and keep alive a divisive culture war that had been drifting out of the news. Corker called Trump a reality show president last night, telling The Times that he acts like he's doing The Apprentice or something. 4. Trump still does not understand how government works. Much of what has gone haywire